How old were you when you decided or knew that you want to get into become a philosopher?
Yeah.
How old were you at that time?
I was in my 20s at the time, yeah.
And what happened that made you think that that's what you wanted to do?
So at the time, I'd had this conversion experience. I was part of a church, and I thought I wanted to try to reflect on what had happened. And I thought philosophy, and I had no education. I dropped out of school at 16, no qualifications. And I thought, I want to start trying to figure out what happened to me, what was this transformation? And so that's what got me onto philosophy.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered at all that this idea of the Father being that Jesus being the Father, and the Father, and the Father, and the Father left himself, that they could possibly be wrong? Have you ever said, you know what, this probably doesn't make any sense?
Yeah, the thing is, that idea of God being not at one with God's self, right? Which sounds very abstract. So that sounds like, what does that mean?
Well, God is at one with himself, but he and Jesus were not the same person. Yeah. Have you ever considered that?
Yeah, but that's what I argue against. Exactly, I know this because the religious worldview is that there is a oneness, a wholeness. New Age philosophy is the same, and confessional Christianity, there's a wholeness, an undivided nature of reality that we come from and that we can go back to. But that's what I'm saying that I reject.
Is there a difference between faith and nihilism?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
So I follow the philosopher Kierkegaard on this. So for him, faith is the ability to hold contradictory positions. So faith is like Abraham who's going to kill his son but believe his son won't die. Faith is being certain of something you cannot see, right? So faith is this experience of embracing this chaos, and flowing within this thing that we're talking about, this not at oneness, being able to tolerate that. That's faith for me. The life of faith is the life of experiencing crucified Christ.
You are, as a Christian, you are a Christian.
Yeah.
Have you been born of the Father?
Yeah, so like born again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love this term because you don't experience birth, but birth is what allows you to experience. So I don't experience my life. My life is what allows me to experience. And at 17 years old, I experienced a type of rebirth. So not a religious experience, because people think a religious experience is something you feel, like taking drugs or something. But as you know, a religious experience isn't something you feel. It's what transforms how you experience everything. It transforms how you interact with the world and with each other. And yes, at 17, I experienced that type of event in my life. It was incredible.
But born again is an awakening within.
Yeah.
Where you are awakened by the light of the Father within you, and you start to be separated from the darkness of the imagination. Do you believe that your thoughts are dark?
Yeah.
That they are from the prince of darkness?
Yeah, I mean, I actually heard you. I was watching something you were speaking on the other day in preparation for this, and I heard you talking about this. I loved it, because that's my thing about why people say, oh, I know what I believe. I'm transparent to myself. Like, we don't know what we believe, and a lot of our beliefs are in darkness, and a lot of our beliefs control us without us even knowing it. You know.
So you believe that your thoughts are of darkness?
That, if you mean in darkness as in not transparent to ourselves, then
right.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It's
so
very.
Why would you trust them in your philosophy thinking and trying to figure out things? Why would you trust the darkness?
Yeah.
Why do you trust the darkness? To believe that you can sit there and try to figure it out, and it convince you that you're right in what you figured out. Knowing that the thoughts are of darkness, why would you trust that?
Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult. You have to think very, very carefully. So, it's like a scientist does very careful double-blind tests and does this so that you don't go astray. So logic is the attempt to not go astray and thinking, because I think we go astray all the time. That's why I try never to talk about things I'm not an expert in, because I will just go off in self-deception and I'll think I'm an expert when I'm absolutely not. It's very difficult. What you're describing it's the philosopher goes step by step, very carefully. Yeah, it's very difficult.
So when the philosopher is sitting back thinking, he knows that his thoughts are of darkness, but he tries to, in his mind, go step by step through the darkness.
Just like like a biologist or a physicist, yes, going like, oh, we, don't understand the world. We can make mistakes all over. Yes, step by step, very carefully. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's very difficult, and you can be led astray, left, right, and center. Yeah.
So it is possible that you've been led astray about what you think about God?
Although here's the thing: if I say God is beyond understanding, and then I'm led astray by that, that means God is not infinite and beyond understanding. So for me, the idea that God, the word God, defines a reality that we cannot grasp is a claim to truth. If I'm self-deceived about that, then God is understandable, then God would just be an idol.
So you said that you are born of the Father?
And could you unpack that for me? Because I think I would say that, but I'm not.
You know how God said that we were born twice, once of the mother, and then once of the father. You were born of your mother, right?
Yep.
You were.
As far as I know. She says it.
Did you ever overcome her?
In what way? Like, as a differentiate, become my own individual?
Yeah, did you overcome your mother, or do you still have her qualities?
I would say I'm Irish. We're all so connected with her. That's why Jesus was Irish, because he stayed with his mother till he was 30, and she thought he was God, right? So yeah, but no, I've pretty much separated from my mother, I think. But I've still got some of her qualities, I guess.
You do? Like what?
So. I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to ask my friends. I'm probably more like my dad, maybe. I'm not sure.
But you do have some of your mother's qualities?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure.
And what are they?
She's a very caring and loving person. I don't want to say that I'm that, but I hope that some of her care and some of her love has rubbed off on me.
What is caring and loving about your mother?
She's very personable, looks out for people, will if someone's in trouble, cook them meals, invite them round, kind of. She's a caring soul, I would say. You should meet her.
And so as a kid growing up, why did this caring and loving mother get on your nerve at times?
Oh, I'm sure she did. I'm sure I got on her nerves more, I'm sure.
But why would a caring and loving mother get on your nerve as a kid if she's so caring and loving?
Yeah, because, we're complex people. Yeah. I'm not sure I understand the question. Yeah.
Oh,
we've had a few. I'm sure we've had a few conflicts in our days. But I love conflict. I'm Irish. Israel means to fight with God. That's why the Jewish are Irish, because the Irish love a good fight, even with God. So yeah, so it's in our blood. If I didn't fight with my parents, that would be weird.
Are your parents Christians?
My dad was a very devout, quietly devout man.
Is there a hell?
For me, the hell is the complete outside. It's the place of complete outsideness. It's the trash of the world. And for me, to be a Christian is to identify with the outside. So to be a Christian is to, in some sense, like Mother Teresa said, to identify not with heaven, but with hell. To be found in hell, to be there, to preach the good news, to help people.
That's what Mother Teresa said?
She said, if I was to be made a saint, you will not find me in heaven. I will be outside guiding the way.
Where is Mother Teresa now?
I don't know. She's dead.
She's dead. Is she in hell?
I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I don't know what happens after you die, my goodness. I'm trying to figure out, is life possible before you die? That's the Christian thing.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you think you will die one day?
Yeah.
And when you die, where will you go?
I don't know, but here's the thing, right? If eternal life is just longevity, heaven would be thousands of people screaming for death. Eternity must mean a transformation in the way we live now. It's not merely longevity. So I'm neutral about the longevity. For me, salvation is a transformation in the moment. That's what eternal life is. There's an eternal transformation right here, right now. Not just.
Do you believe that you will physically die one day from earth?
I don't know. I mean, yes, definitely. I'll definitely die. We all die.
You will die from
I
Earth.
don't think there's anything after death for us.
Oh, so when you die physically from Earth, what will happen to you?
I'd be surprised if anything happened. I just die.
You
Does
just
everybody
die.
not believe that? Yeah, you just die. Yeah. I
So
mean,
you
well,
don't believe you will go to hell or heaven?
I mean, there's life after death, as in people will live after I've gone, all that. But yeah, no, I would be surprised if I woke up somewhere. But,
So
know.
you don't believe that you would go to heaven or hell?
No, do you?
No, Matthew.
Oh yeah, well no, but I think that's the more, yeah, of course. Well, I'm a European, so this idea of heaven and hell and God are more, we're more, find those ideas more difficult.
Are you a guilty person or an innocent person?
As in, do I experience guilt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really, thankfully.
So are you innocent?
In what way? Like
Any way at all? Are you innocent, period?
not completely innocent. I'm sure I've done
You're
bad things in my time. I love this. This is great.
So what?
I'm enjoying this line of questioning. This is good. This is great. I'm definitely not innocent. I'm trying to think. Don't ask me to confess my sins
Right, no, I won't.
to the camera.
Absolutely. Do you sin?
Okay, so that's a theological concept. Can I give you the definition of what I think sin is?
Yeah. Because of time, it need to be short, but yes.
Okay. Well, very quickly.
Because philosophers go on
I
and
know
on,
they've
and
done
then you
it on.
forget what the question was.
Yeah, I know. So very quickly, sin for me is not like being bad or anything like that. It's much more, it's about, sin means lack and absence. So for me, sin is this experience of lack, and sinful activity is anything you do to try to fill the lack. Whether it's having kids or doing drugs, anything you do to frantically fill the lack. And what I am about is freedom from that frenetic pursuit. So for me, that's what sin is. Sin is the pursuit of something to fill the lack.
So do you sin?
I feel that I'm mostly free from that frenetic pursuit. I'm not looking for something to fill the lack.
So do you sin?
Yeah, occasionally I look for things like money or fame that will fill that lack, and that would be sin. So if I do that occasionally, yes.
Oh, okay.